Yo, 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 yo. Woo, it is a Monday. I feel it in my bones. Good morning, good morning, good morning, good morning. First Sky Omaha radio, first Sky Omaha in the morning. I kind of caught it on the radio channel this morning a little bit. Shout out to Beth. Shout out to Beth, who's our radio tech, letting us know when we're live, when we got the hot mics going. Yeah, it threw us on automatically, so we got to figure that out.
Try to catch us slipping.
Yeah, try to catch us with the hot mic. Cold-blooded. Good morning, Monday, February 7th, 2022. Got a good morning already from Christy Noor, Wanda Lewis, Marq Manner, Brother Muhammad. Assalamu alaikum, family.
Man, Brother Muhammad was looking clean in front of Minnelusa. Looking clean.
Alaikum salam, brother. Alaikum salam. Brother Valentine says good morning. Terry Bricker gives us a good morning. What's happening? What's happening? You know what it is. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Fresh edition of First Sky Omaha in the morning on this Monday.
Squad.
The squad in the house, yeah. Yes, sir. Mayor Sanchez, morning. What's happening? Good morning, all. Thanks for joining us. Again, Monday, February 7th, 2022. We're feeling good this morning. Getting all kinds of love from everybody.
Man.
Love so abundant. Much love. Say again?
Love abundant.
Abundant.
Yeah, man.
I love it. Thank you for joining us. First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Again, this is Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich in the house. And we and all of you, the chat chimers, man, we really appreciate you guys coming in. Man, Brother Muhammad says building our squad. I heard that.
Yeah. Again, the love is abundant, y'all. So yeah, we appreciate y'all.
Join us over on YouTube. Mayor Sanchez is going to be over there. YouTube. You can go to First Sky Omaha, the YouTube channel, if you're tired of Facebook. If you're on Facebook, please share the show so we can make everybody. Wait a minute now, Rome. Hold on.
Take it easy.
Still a little too early for all that.
Take it easy. Oh, man.
Yeah, man. Speaking of Skeet's Barbecue, we missed that joint.
Oh, man.
Yeah, man. But yeah, thank you. And I'm feeling the love this morning, man. I got up and reviewed some stuff on Friends of First Sky Omaha, and I got my mind blown. Josh Tague, I know you coming. This man wrote our first drop, basically. I can't wait for you to hear it. It's incredible. Man. Like the love is just insane.
What kind is that? Ukulele? Is that?
Yeah, you got a ukulele going on, man.
I know that's an instrument near and dear to your heart, Paul.
Yeah,
coming from the island. No.
No, don't play it. No, I'm not a uke fan anymore after living in Hawaii for 10 years.
Okay. Got your feel.
But that's how much that I was touched by this situation here. Like this brother. We'll talk about it later on in the show. Basically, he wrote a song. If you haven't been on Friends of First Sky Omaha, go check it out. He wrote a First Sky Omaha in the morning show song. That's dope. That's really dope. I appreciate it. Rome's review says I ate at Wayne's new school this weekend. How was that? Let me know.
Is that a new cute spot?
I'm not sure. Tell us about it. Tell us about what's going on there. In this Black History Month. I'm sure it's a Black-owned something going on because everybody's on that right now. Where can we go eat? They keep on asking me.
Yeah,
I'm like, there's people putting out a list. There's a rotation, a list going around of all the places you can eat. That's a Black restaurant out here in Omaha. So yeah,
we'll get our hands on that.
Try them all. That's what I say. Good morning, Brianna Fool. Good morning. Some sunshine. I like that. Yeah. We're supposed to get a little sunshine today too. Supposed to warm up.
Let it in.
Please do. How you doing over there, buddy? What's going on with you? How was your weekend?
My weekend was all right. It was Sunday. Just all right. It was kind of uneventful. I mean, did the hustle and bustle on Saturday with the youngsters. You know, that's their day. Got like ballet and karate and yeah. So doing that thing, running around.
Picking up, dropping off.
Yeah, also a little, personal disclosure, man. Our dryer caught on fire the other day.
What?
Yeah, man. It wasn't nothing and quite ironically, I have to find the video. This is quite hilarious. It caught on fire whilst I was listening to Toby Ningwe's 5-5.
Your draws was in there singing, "We on 5-5."
Oh man, yeah, I gotta find the video. It's on my phone somewhere. But yeah, while I was, just doing laundry, chilling out, listening to music, Toby Ningwe's 5-5 came on, and I guess my dryer couldn't take it.
That's crazy.
Just burst into flames. It wasn't anything too dramatic though. Just I smelled like what is that burning smell? What is that? Opened the dryer, took my clothes out, and like looked in the back, and I could see the flames. I could see
man,
yeah. So I just threw some water in there and went out. And
you threw some man. You ain't supposed to. I don't know if you're supposed to throw no water on electrical fire.
I don't know. I don't think it was electrical.
Oh, okay.
I think it might have been some lint or something. Yeah. I think it might have been some lint or something. But long story short, it was crisis averted, and now I'm running and ripping and running back and forth to the laundromat.
And the car's down too, right?
No, man. My starter's trying to go out on me, but we still ticking along.
Man, I tell you, it gets like this sometimes, where all the tech, all the stuff that you need to roll in life just starts breaking down. You got to maintain. I feel like we need a maintenance person for our lives.
Man, definitely in the winter in Omaha, man. The potholes, a couple years, definitely in the minus soul days. Shout out to Augie Kid, the Hoopty crew. He know what it's about. He know what it's about, man. Actually, shout out to Augie Kid. I saw he posted on Facebook the other day. He just had to change a tire. Just so happened the day he had on white pants. So yeah, big shout out to everybody dealing with car issues, man.
And dryer issues. Man.
Yeah. That's basically how my weekend went. Just running the kids around, hoping the car starts. Going to laundromats.
Yeah, you have to put them hot draws in its own situation.
I blame Toby.
Hey, we got a shout out from Marq Manner. He said, Wayne's been around for a while. I had it last night. Good authentic cue. Some space that used to be Harkerts. Never heard of Harkerts. This must be before my time.
Or Wayne.
Yeah, I'm surprised I don't know about this Wayne's. What you guys got to know about Marq Manner too is not only is he running Homers over there where you can go buy your records. You're cool if you buy records. Not only is he doing that, but he is a food connoisseur for the town as well. He goes around and eats places and reports on it, and and I trust his taste buds. If he says it's good, it's good.
Trust his palate.
There you go. Ariel's 402. He said, brother Mayor Sanchez says he's on burner number 2. That's what's up. What's up. Yeah, appreciate that. Yeah, go get you a few burner accounts over on YouTube and friend us.
Yeah, man. Click that subscribe. Click that bell, if you will. Let's build that subscription. I don't know. I think I saw somebody post. They said like 82 subscribers or something.
Oh, really? Already? That's what's up.
I don't know. They gave out some number, right? We have to check. We're everywhere now.
YouTube be playing games, man. That's why we're like us over there. You got to have 100 followers in order for you to have just the YouTube / First Sky Omaha name. Like now, it's like a big old code.
Is it 100 or 1,000?
No, you only got to have 100 subscribers to change that part.
Oh, okay.
You have 1,000. They do you in levels. Like the more, if you monetize your YouTube, then you got to have 1,000 subscribers. So we playing the game. That's what's happening. We just playing the game. So thanks for helping us play the game over there on YouTube. Tell a friend, make it happen. A lot of people told us we needed to do that this season because they are tired of them some Facebook.
Man.
So a couple of our friends have said they only got Facebook for our show.
Yeah. And a couple said they don't listen because they don't have Facebook and wasn't going to Facebook. So, tell your friends, tell your peoples. We everywhere now. Spread it on the highways and byways. We tweeting, we twitching, we tubing.
Tweeting, twitching, tubing, and still got a Facebook. We still got to Facebook it. And once again, like I said, if you are on Facebook, the best you can do for us is go ahead and share the show so more people can get involved and so on and so forth. Let us know how your weekend went.
Yeah,
you did anything fun? Did you lay low? Did you mask up and go out? What was your weekend like? Let us know for sure. And yeah, man, get this show on the road. We got a special guest in today from Flatwater Free Press. Matt Hanson's going to be in the house letting us know about what's going on with Flatwater if you didn't know.
Partners.
Yeah, man, and I'm gonna just repeating about the love that we getting from the community, man. It's blowing me away. We're gonna play Josh Tague's song for you a little later, and yeah, man. So
yeah,
go and Senator Carol Blood put some respect on her name, shouted us out on Twitter. So yeah, man, really appreciate the love. It's incredible,
man. So go to Friends of, check it all out. Join the conversation. Let your mind be free. Let your voice be heard. Of course, it is Monday, so if you feel in the case of the Mondays, we right there with you, man. We right there. Bear with us. We're live for the next 2 hours. Got a lot to talk about though, so let's go ahead and keep it moving. And hopefully your weekend was all right, Paul. Hopefully you're doing
man,
all right.
Yeah. It's work.
Okay. Okay. Just checking on you. But yeah, man, let's go ahead and get into it because we do have some things actually left over from last week that we didn't have enough time to get into that we definitely would like to get into, especially this $450 million ask. Again, we've been looking out for Senators Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney officially introduced the Bill 1024. Kind of gave a broke down about it last week, but we'll definitely like to spend a little more time talking about that. And also a big shout out to our partners over at The Reader. They recently released the headline is a resource guide for low income families. Man, I know y'all know somebody who needs that. So we'll dive into some of that information and just some of the resources available to the north side and the south side, man. Again, the people need it. So let's try to get the information to the people. Again, tell a friend, tune in. We got the information for them and we're going to talk about it. Also, we got to talk about what's going on with our neighbors, man. Michelle mentioned Iowa. Our neighbors are one of the states that has elected to ban books and things like that. And now Missouri is coming out with Bill 666. You heard me. Bill 666. Take from that what you will. We'll talk about it.
Yeah, I was going to say whatever it is, it can't be good.
We'll talk about it. Again, all that and more. First Sky Omaha. It's Monday, man. Stay tuned.
Space is the place, y'all. Good morning. Once again, thank you for tuning in. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers on this February the 7th, 2022. So thanks for joining us, man. I know time is already flying. This year's already second month. It's 2D2 already, bro. So lots going on this year. Of course, we have the governor's race is happening this year. So yeah, man, 2022 is going to be very pivotal. And just while we're on that subject for a minute, just want to give a shout out to Senator Carol Blood, put some respect on her name, giving us some love on Twitter very recently. As a matter of fact, I can throw that up right now. She says, Black History Month shout out and love to First Sky Omaha, who have live shows from 7 to 9 on current issues, entertainment, and more. So yeah, just really want to give her a shout out for letting us associating us with Black History Month. Number one, this is the first time I think I ever got associated with Black History Month.
Actually, yeah. We're a part of Black History now.
Part of Black History. I also want to give a quick shout out to my brother Marq Manner, man, for always giving us love as well. He said, it's where I get so much information on engagement. One of the best moments was when they asked where the best wings are, and you said your house. That floored everyone.
Yeah.
Senator Carol Blood gonna have us knocking on the door like, where the wings at?
What's
going on? So yeah, shout out to them. Much love from Marq Manner and from Senator Carol Blood. Appreciate y'all very, very much, man, for real. We got some good mornings to get through. Michelle Moreno says, good morning, everyone. Positive vibes this Monday and the rest of the week. Appreciate that.
Hey, good
When
vibration.
Easter says, good morning. So appreciate you. Kimmer Snipes, what's going on? Give us a
Put
good
some
morning.
respect on her name.
I'm going to try this one. Bantuesa Colbert. Gives us a good
Bantwisa.
morning. Bantwisa. I like
Yeah,
that.
it's my mom's longtime friend. Hey, Miss Ben, how you
Hey,
doing?
okay. What's happening?
Yeah,
I like that name, Bantwisa. That's beautiful.
I think that's a product of telling a friend to tell a friend, you know?
Exactly. Josh Tague, we were just talking about you, man. He says, happy Monday, friends. That the song, bro.
Man.
Like, blew us away with the song, bro. You blew us away.
Thank you.
That's what's up. Brianna Full says, new blood in NE. I heard that.
Hey.
Blood for governor.
That's a Carol Blood. That's a Carol Blood slogan. I like that.
Hashtag new blood.
Man,
I like that.
Need some.
Carol Blood is too cool. Kimber Snipe says MCC board has some seats up as well as school board and a few others. That's right. Speaking of which, our friends at First Sky, Brother Mohammed is running for school board District 2. He made that announcement. I missed that announcement Friday, man. I missed it, and they caught it at the end for me. So that's what's up. And then we got to see what he's going to be doing over the weekend. So, man, hopefully we'll have to have him on, talk to him about some things as well. And some friends at First Sky Omaha are on his campaign now too. So we'll talk about that a little bit later on. But lots of great announcements going on right now for us. Lots of First Sky Omaha love, man. I feel like we're a part of gathering all this stuff together. So that's what's up.
Yeah,
appreciate all y'all for real.
Definitely feels like we're seeing the fruit of our labor, if you will. Kind of having creating a platform where people can have conversations, the mind can be free, the voice can be heard, some like minds can come together on some things, and kind of seeing that. So let's keep that going. Let's support these things. Definitely big shout out to you, Brother Melvin Muhammad, because we need that. Again, more resources, more support in the North Side, and that's actually what I would like to kick off the show talking about. Yeah, because we need those, the Carol Bloods in there. We need new blood. We need the Carol Bloods. We need the Melvin Muhammads, and also new blood that we already have in there. The likes of brothers Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney. Big shout out to them. Put some respect on their names. Again, we kicked off, or we talked about last week, Legislative Bill 1024, something that we've been looking out for the last few weeks. Again, the $450 million ask that's going to be directed towards North Omaha to recover from COVID-19 pandemic, and really years and years and generations of the lack of investment, or as our friends at the Reader like to say, disinvestment. Yeah. So again, big shout out to Senators, the dynamic duo, as we like to call them, Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney. Put some respect on their names. Again, $400 million ask in LB 1024, building 100 new homes, rehabbing 200 more, and constructing 2 mixed-use developments, something that we talk about a lot. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and share this article so we can look through this together. Again, 100 homes, having 200 more, constructing 2 mixed-use developments, graduating 500 people from high-demand jobs. So I know, shout out to Brother Omar Valentine. That's something he's putting in a lot of work to work on as far as job retention, things like that. If successfully executed in North Omaha, Wayne says the effort could be replicated in communities across the state. Now, so this is, again, not as many times, from Wayne. I believe Senator Blood may have mentioned past, as far as we fix things in North Omaha. It's not just about fixing North Omaha and giving North Omaha, handouts. It's about raising the economic base, not just for the North Side, but for the entire city. I mean, if the lowest, the lowest income, if their economic base rate rises, then it's not trickle down economics, it's trickle up economics.
Right. Trickle down don't work.
No. But if the people, at the lowest of the rung of the ladder, if they have the money and they spend, and then those businesses get the stimulation and get the business and traffic that they need. Then they'll need more workers, therefore they'll hire more people, and the ball gets rolling like that. Trickle down never works. So big shout out. Hopefully they get this.
That's real interesting that I never thought of it that way too, because I'm from the 80s with the Reaganomics, trickle down theory, and all that.
Man.
And really, like, what it just hit me, like what they were really saying is, if you can't trust the people to spend the money to help the economy, if you gave it to the poorest, and then they stimulated the economy, that's really what would happen. But they try to act like you can't trust that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll just the poor will just amass all their money and try to be rich, and so we can't let that happen. There's nothing. They won't spend it. They'll try to be one of us if they get some money. So I don't know what the thought process is, but trickle down never worked. Trickle up is really what should have happened. And it just hit me right now, like how opposite, like how extremely opposite the theory was for whatever reason. It's a trip.
I mean, just listen to what you just said, man. It, like, how much of a condescending like mentality is that, to think like we can't trust them to we can't give them the money because they're not gonna do right with it. You know what I mean? Like, we got to give it to the business owners and it'll trickle down. Like, no,
and trust those business owners will pass that along to the poorest of people. Like,
no,
that's how business works.
No, they take the bag and then they continue to figure out how to cut corners and reduce cost and minimize as much as possible.
Yeah, I can't believe he didn't know that. I think they just did that.
Of course,
Yeah.
Of course they're aware. And what is the result? What is the result of that? Then you have an array of nonprofit organizations popping up out of the woodwork to try to fill that gap, to try to service the people who aren't getting what they need. And then you have a bunch of organizations who then need finance. Like, you have to invest in the people some way, shape, or form, whether it's in the organizations or whether it's the people. And we're seeing investment in the organizations. Of course, if you remember, it was reported 20 different organizations in North Omaha got a total of $192,000 in grants. But even still, is that the solution? Is that enough? Actually, I have a quote here from Brother Marcy Yates, our first guest of season 3, founder of the Culture House, who received actually $10,000, which, it's a nice grant. But in the words of Marcy, he says, we're grateful to get that, but we still have to apply for more grants. 10,000 can support us specifically for a program. That's the problem we have with organizations and nonprofits getting money. It has to be for a specific or something specific. You can't get it to just operate and do the work. It has to be for this thing right here and has to be spent by this time. For us as an organization, it doesn't help to sustainability.
Tell the truth, Brother Yates.
Man, so where's the long-term fix?
It's all short term, whatever. Like, if anybody who's ever owned a business knows, 10 grand will pay your rent and a few bills a month, maybe 2, depending on your business. But what's it really doing for your organization? You know what I mean? And that money that is given is supposed to be spent. It's not like you can, when you give it for certain programs, you have to use it for those programs. It's not like you can use it for what you need. So a lot of these organizations are struggling with their rent. They'll get a $10,000 thing, but it'll be for a program. It'll be for something that they're asking so that they can throw an event, or they can or some kind of one-off. So in the long term, and then on top of all that, they got all these organizations scrapping for that 10 grand too. On top of
man, scrapping for the crumbs.
Scrapping for the crumbs. We've been through that over at Malcolm X Memorial Foundation. It was always a grant that was offered to several Black organizations, and everybody had to apply and just hope we got it. And if we got it, somebody else didn't get it. So it's a hot mess, man. And when you think about the fact that when you talk about trickle down economics, nonprofit world is all trickle down economics. It's all trickle down. They get funds from foundations and figure out how to disseminate it to the neediest people. It's spring up and pop up so huge here in Nebraska because of the theory of this trickle down theory in the first place. That's the theory in the first place, and this has manifested itself to me in like nonprofit organizations that are trying to do that for us.
Well, let's get to the nitty gritty of it, because it's not just nonprofits. Let's not just say nonprofits in general, because we know there's some nonprofits that are getting the millions. We know that there's some nonprofits, like Wanda Lewis says, take a look at some nonprofits getting $25,000 for a 1-day event.
Right, or in, like you said, 6 figures when they're already a institution like the Jocelyn Museum, for instance.
You know what I'm saying? So it's usually the organizations that are servicing the people that have to fight for the scraps, unfortunately. Yeah. And honestly, I always ask, why do we even need all these organizations? Like, what is the point of government?
Right. Like Wanda Lewis is saying in the chat, what others get 5,000 or 10,000 for the whole year.
Yeah,
we've been in that boat for a minute, man. We know it. Brianna Full says the scale of aid that is required to fix the big problems in North O is so much more than 192,000. I mean, it's to me, it's almost a start when they're talking about this 400 million.
Yeah. This is just to plant the seed. Again, 100 homes.
Right. I mean, you just broke down what we're looking at here, so it's only going to help a certain amount. And when you think about that kind of money, it's a drop in the bucket.
Oh yeah.
Other parts of the city are asking for 600 million to build a lake.
Yeah, you keep commenting about that, man. That's crazy. 600 million for a lake.
Right. Well, but that's what I'm saying. Like we don't have no concept of what big money is supposed to be doing all the way. You know what I'm saying? Like it is a drop in the bucket to billionaires to drop 600 million on a lake. So, and just by comparison, the brothers are asking for 450 million. You got some delay going on with you there, it looks like. In the chat, Josh Tate says, look how many nonprofits there are for military, former military, like why?
Yeah.
Mama God in house. Good morning. Says how do I comment if logging in through YouTube? YouTube will let you comment over there as well.
Yeah,
just jump into the YouTube. Yeah. I want to go ahead and jump in there. She says, by the way, good morning, First Sky peeps. Hope you had a wonderful, productive weekend. Thank you very much. Really, really, really appreciate that. I hope you did too. Also, going up into the chat a little bit, Kimmer Snipe says, I have had some chats with Brother Muhammad. Anyone ever want to run, holler at me. I've got a little advice, and that's for any official willing to meet and support anyone willing to authentically put their name in the hat. Got a good morning. Hey, fam, from Amy Hutfless. Good morning to you. Brother Muhammad says, please don't forget our sister, Shelton Shar. Sister is also running in District 2. Shout out for our sister. Appreciate that. Brother Ariel's 402 says, I would like to see the numbers of which communities received how much to show the gap in investment. Yeah, we looked in some of that stuff. For sure. And as a matter of fact, I think partnered with the reader on looking at how some of these nonprofits who got what. They were having a hard time trying to get those numbers too, doing that investigative reporting, because nobody really wants to say too much, but they can find out as much as they can from the public record. But that's how we know that Jocelyn got a big check. You know what I'm saying? Got a big chunk of money, and some other places like that for sure.
And you know what's crazy is every year, remember we did the giving, what was it, Giving Thursday or like the
Giving Tuesday?
Yeah, Giving Tuesday, and the Omaha, nonprofits had this whole day, 24-hour raise-a-thon, and every year it never failed. Who got the most money? Humane Society and all the pet organizations and all of that.
Right. And every year I go, they care more about dogs than black people. Every year I'm like, they care more about dogs than black people. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah, man.
That may not be the case, but it feels like that when you look at all these organizations that are trying to uplift our community that are getting 10,000, 4,000, 5,000 here or there. Humane Society is getting the bulk, getting 2 million and stuff like that. Like, that's just what it is. And they're a bigger organization and so on and so forth. That's fine, but it just goes to show you like what you're talking about. Not Giving Tuesday. You're talking about what was the other event that we used to
Yeah,
raise
it was
money
something
for.
Omaha. If y'all remember, it was like
Omaha Gives.
Yeah.
That Omaha Gives event showed you right there on the website who got what and where and who was winning and who it was almost like a little competition. Like, how much was this person getting, that person, that organization getting? Hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of organizations, and literally, like, we might walk away with $500 at the Malcolm X Memorial Foundation, while the Humane Society would get 1 or 2 million. You know what I'm saying? Like, we were able to sit there and look at those numbers and see who was doing what and what the people cared about, what people were putting their dollars behind. Interesting stuff. Before the chat gets away from us, Brother Muhammad says, replying to Kimmer Snipes, we'll be contacting you. Insight from you is priceless. Really appreciate that. I love it when the partners come together and can help each other out as resources as well too. Wanda Lewis says, take a look at some nonprofits getting $25,000 for a one-day event.
Yeah,
very true. While others get 5 and 10 for a whole year. Also, let's see here. Josh Take says, just look at how many nonprofits there are for. Yeah, we already read that one. Military and former military. There's so many nonprofits out there. It's crazy. This is a nonprofit city more than any city I've ever seen.
Yeah,
and I can't help but marry that to this idea of this, this trickle down theory, this this parental kind of attitude that you got to have. We'll let you know. We'll tell you how you should spend this money. You know what I'm saying? This attitude that we have the money, and we're going to give it to who we think is deserving, and then tell you how to spend it and all that. So. Yep.
Josh Tague, hitting on another note that we'll actually get into with this Missouri Bill 666, just makes no sense why government isn't handling their needs, especially since defense, quote unquote, is the largest slice of the spending pie. Exactly. It's like, and then see, talking about trickle down economics, how that defense spending trickles down to the police, how they get their, tank resistant mines and
extra helicopters.
Yeah. And how that's used on the people, man. You see where to follow the money. That's really really it. Just follow the money. Where does all the money go? And that tells you what they care about.
Yeah. Christy Norris says, and what the government handles sucks for a lot of vets. Like, they've got all that money going to the military and then not really taking care of the veterans.
Yeah, man. So we see the issues, but what is the solution? Again, big shout out to our partners at The Reader for always focusing. Actually, we just talked to Brother John Heaston on Friday and got a little bit into the history of solutions journalism and how they got to that. And one of the, if I'm not mistaken, correct me, Paul, the only entities in the Omaha area with that solutions journalism kind of focus.
Yeah, that's us. Pretty much. The Reader, Flatwater Free Press. Hopefully we'll be able to talk to them a little bit when they come in a little later on.
Yeah.
If you're just joining us, we are going to have a special guest in from Flatwater Free Press to talk about some of this stuff. But yeah, solutions journalism is not it's a pretty progressive thing that people are doing on the coasts. So there's not a lot happening here. I think it's all kind of moving towards that, but for the most part, alternative news is leading the way, and that's The Reader.
Yeah, man. So big shout out to The Reader, specifically Leah Cates, and this latest installment of the Disinvested. This is a part of the Disinvested project that we just spoke to Chris Bowling about a couple weeks ago. And this is, again, a resource guide for low-income families, from subsidized childcare to parenting education classes. Key services for caregivers and kids are available. And again, this is another product of First Sky Omaha, us having the conversation, bringing like minds together and having a conversation and coming to some things. If I'm not mistaken, our very own Miss Erica Felt has some assistance in this article.
Yes, sir. That's what's up.
Yeah. So big shout out to her. Again, childcare is one of the main things that people need. When you talk about economic development and trickle up economics, if you can't have anyone to watch your kids, if you don't have anywhere to take your little ones so you can go to work to try to pull yourself up from the bootstraps, then you're just losing from the start. So big shout out, first of all, to all of our child care providers. And again, learning more with the assistance of Miss Erica Feld and also the reader about some of the tropes and things that our child care providers go to. Again, follow the money and where the money doesn't go. And apparently a lot of child care providers aren't getting the assistance they need, and also the families. But again, there are child care subsidy programs. The reader says, check out the child care subsidy program offered via the Nebraska Department of Health and Human Services. The program may cover some or all of your child care costs. For more details on the below information, you can visit dhs.gov. So there is that. Also, there's a whole guide on how to qualify for that information. Also, they have a list of additional resources. So this is ranging from Nebraska Child Care Referral Network all the way to the Child Care Tax Credit, which is definitely something you should look into. But big shout out to the reader. And again, continue to look out for this disinvested project, I guess you can call it.
Series of articles.
Yeah, series. There you go. We'll continue to go on really throughout the year. I'm not sure how long they're going to be doing that, but for a long time to come.
Yeah. And shout out to, like I said, Miss Erica Feld, who was willing to go to talk to one of our reporters and friends over there at the Reader to get some information, man. You know, anytime that you guys are now that we're pushing that, saying, hey, get yourself a subscription, read the Reader. Stuff that we talk about here goes in depth in the articles in the Reader. A lot of the information that we get, news that we get, is from there. Check them out. And if you feel like there's some stuff that they're missing and that they need to add, then you're right along with the mission with us, because that's why we're in there. We're in there with the editorial meetings every week and making sure that they represent certain parts of our community right. So you can be a part of that too, as friends of First Sky Omaha, as chat chimers. And anytime that there's something that you feel like is off or that they missed, speak up, because they're very, very willing to pull you aside, talk to you, and get that perspective. So most def, check them out. And I really like that series of articles that they're writing right now, and going in hard, going in deep, and using some friends of First Sky Omaha for some resources too, which is great. So love that very much. If you believe in the concept of time, it's 7:37 right now in Omaha, Nebraska. It's already going by real fast. Before the chat gets away from us real quick, Mama God had a very interesting thing for the last thing we were talking about as far as the funding out here is concerned. She said, out of all fairness, does some of it have to do with scale? So some of, like the Humane Society is a huge organization, and so and everybody knows them, and that's why a lot of people are given to them. Other organizations are smaller, and that's why they're getting smaller amounts. It does I think it does have to do with scale, but also just awareness of the organizations. It doesn't take much if you say, hey, I want to do something to help North Omaha. It don't take much to find out organizations that are doing stuff and help them out, get to that level.
And also, how do you expect an organization to scale if they never receive any investment?
Very true. Very true. So yes, you're right. Like, there's going to be a lot of it. The Humane Society is nationwide, huge organization that most everyone knows, and people who are not concerned with other parts of the city are going to do stuff like donate to the Humane Society. That's just something that's going to happen. But it just goes to show you, that's why you got to have some visibility in your situation, and spread the word, get the word out that this is what you're trying to do, so that you can get some of those dollars. Those dollars are there for you to be able to scale. That's kind of the point.
Right.
Capital campaigns are for you to get your business to the next level, get your cause to the next level. And those are the kind of things that you go for as far as grants and stuff are concerned. So,
and we're not talking about 10,000, 20,000 here and there. Like, we're talking about $100,000, $150,000 that can really change the trajectory of an organization. I mean, that could pay for some real salaries for a year to actually get some real work done, to actually get a ball moving, to be able to scale. But these organizations are always caught in this survival, kind of mode where they're scrapping along, and that's just where they end up stuck.
Right, for sure. Christy, let's see. Brother Valentine says they strategically tell donors to wait to give until the giving days.
Yeah,
which is interesting too. Yeah, so they're holding back, funds and for that purpose. I always try to wonder what those giving days were, and it's just something to really kind of hype up the giving around a certain area, and strategic. There's this strategic stuff going on with it as well, like Brother Valentine's bringing out. So be wary of that too. Really, if you're looking at it, definitely check that out. Wanda Lewis in the chat says this article will show what nonprofits receive the funds and how much. She put in the chat an article from ketv.com showing who receives what grants. So if you really want to know who's getting them dollars, definitely go in there and check that out. Says, remember, 22,000 of the grant funds were for a bailout. It's interesting to get caught up in this whole grant fund. Like I said, I've talked more about grants and nonprofit organizations since I've been in Omaha than ever before, because that's the kind of city it is, kind of town it is. There's not enough programs and money and stuff going to where it needs to go. So all these nonprofits are popping up to save things, to help things, to save one fish at a time. Mm-hmm. And then we have some of the richest, some of the, we're one of the cities that have the most Fortune 500 companies in it. And so we got all these Fortune 5 millionaires. We got all these family foundations going on all the way up to Warren Buffett, which is one of the biggest ones in the country. And so everything is dependent on whether or not they feel it in their heart to be able to go ahead and help some of these organizations out and trickle it down to us. We've had more success asking for grant funds than we have business loans. So lot to it. Brother Muhammad says we live in a world that controls our mind and money.
There you go.
So true. Miss Erica Felt in the house. What's happening? Good morning. We just talked about that article that you were associated with.
Yeah, with the reader.
Not just due to well known, if the expenses are higher, they should receive more. I think expenses are high. If the program is an ambitious one, they're trying to help more than just a fish at a time, trying to unpoison the lake. If there's some grassroots ground on the feet on the ground stuff can be done, they should probably receive more. How many times? The question is, how many times have they asked for certain funds for certain things and got turned down for it? That's another one.
Yeah.
Stacey Jean gives us a good morning. First Sky Omaha family and friends. Appreciate you. Wanda Lewis says they are a part of the nonprofits, right? Ms. Erica Fell says, I'd rather have a grant than a loan. Me too. I mean, but the point is, like, we're dependent on that. Most of these organizations would not exist if we didn't have this nonprofit kind of town that we have. When you think about 24th and Lake Street area, there's not hardly any for-profit businesses on the whole block. Everything's a nonprofit organization. Everything is dependent on Susie Buffett money. Everything is dependent on, grants. It's stifling the ability to have for-profit businesses. Brother Omar says, Valentine says, if you dive deeper, you'll see a correlation between grant awardees and the boards they serve on. Some are on 5+ community boards.
Sheesh.
Interesting stuff. Good morning, Brooke Rodriguez. Appreciate you. Thanks for tuning in, and thanks to all of you for tuning in as well. We already deep in conversation, and the show's already getting deep. So let's take a quick break. Once again, it's 7:43. If you believe in the concept of time, if you're keeping track of it, and we'll take a quick break and come back. Stay tuned. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down, ladies and gentlemen. Don't go nowhere. Yo, 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 yo. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Once again, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. It's going down 644 in Omaha, Nebraska, if you believe in the concept of time. Just want to give a shout out to everybody that's given us so much love here in the last few days as well, man. Senator Carol Blood put some respect on her name, shouted us out on Twitter yesterday, and we really appreciate that. Also, Marq Manner gives us some good words on Twitter, some shout outs. And I also had a really good conversation with Mark last night, too, just about, we're in it, so we don't know what kind of effect we're having on things. So it's really interesting when we get that feedback. And he's gave us some reassurance, like we're on the right track. It's interesting, like how many people are checking us out and check in with us on stuff. So like it was nice to hear, what effect it's having for us to have these conversations with everyone. So really, really appreciate it. Also, Josh Tague, man. Also, Josh Tague put a song together that's really our first Sky drop.
Man.
First Sky Omaha in the morning song that we gotta play it. Josh, I know. I hope that you cool with that, because we definitely gonna let people hear what's going on with it. But before we get into that, I just want to jump in the chat real quick. Miss Erica Felt is saying there's an incredible number of nonprofits here. Even Portland doesn't come close to the number here, and I worked with nonprofits there. I'm saying this is a nonprofit city, man. More than anybody. So, and don't forget, Brother Muhammad says in it to win it. That's what's up. And he announced Friday that he's running for School Board District 2. So definitely check him out and support that person as well. He's a friend of First Sky Omaha. You know him well from being in the chat and all the kind of stuff he does. So it's time to get to know Brother Muhammad a little bit more. We've had some meetings with him in kind of what we call the North Omaha Grand Central, which was Scooters for a while on 30th Street, 30th and Ames.
The spot.
And Kimmer Snipes' office basically is what it was. and got to know about some of the things that he's doing is his organization that we also support. And he supports us as well. He does a lot for the youth, man. Anybody who takes on youth and teaches them things like martial arts and stuff like that, he's got their well-being in mind. So I think he's got a great addition to the school board for sure. And so we'll have him on and talk to him about getting to know him for sure, so you guys can know. Josh Take says, "Oh, thanks, y'all. It's not my best take, but it came from the heart. Love this show. Appreciate you, man.
That's all that matters."
For sure, brother. Kimmer Snipes says, Nebraska Civic Engagement Tables Organizer School is open. I just put a post on Friends of First Sky. The table will pay for your salary and benefits for 1 full year to organize for one of our member organizations. Holler at me if you have more questions. Wow.
There you go. Okay.
Paid position too. That's what's up. Yes, please do holler at Kimber Miss Snipes on that one. Still doing the work. Mama God says being over dependent in grants can stifle the community's ability to support our nonprofit orgs to be more self-sustaining. Help is great, but we got to put something on it. Think of it like welfare. The government can pay for everything to operate your household, but does not propel the mind and independence. It definitely can help you get through them rough spots, but you definitely got to be thinking about how you can sustain yourself after that help is depleted, or get back on your feet with things or whatever. I definitely see that. We definitely have done that. We're doing it ourselves right now. As a matter of fact, the nonprofit help that we got, that we got from some of these organizations out here is got us thinking, okay, we better get to some sustainability at some point, because you can't keep on depending on that. That stuff dries up, Yeah,
it's definitely not to say like you have to ask for it, but the spark has to come from somewhere. That's right. If the community is serving an organization that needs the organization because they themselves can't sustain themselves and support themselves, therefore it can't support the organization, but the organization has to do the work because the government isn't doing the work. But where does the money come from to do the work? If the people don't have the money to support themselves, the organization that's trying to support the people who don't have the money doesn't have the money. Where does the money come from?
There you go. And because right now the money comes from us and our jobs. Speaking of jobs, Ms. Snipes in the chat again says Omaha Public Library is looking for part-time specialists making $22.07 an hour. I serve in this role for my second job and love it. holler at me if you're interested. So hit that. You know, one thing we say around here at First Sky Omaha is that real boss moves is when you putting somebody on and helping them make some money. And so that's a real boss move that Miss Snipes does, always hollering out. Also, Brother Valentine, there's some people in our chat that are really trying to get some people paid if you're looking for some work and want some direction and do some things. So really appreciate you putting that in there. Go ahead and put that in Friends of First Sky Omaha as well. She says, I missed my spot. I'll be down there one day next week when I can get back in town. Okay.
All right. I'm on through. She also has a suggestion for us. She says we need to meet Miss Moore Takia. She started I Am Will, a nonprofit on her own with no grants. She refuses to be dependent. She's amazing and right in North Omaha. Definitely would love to get in contact if you could, assist in that.
There you go. As a matter of fact, it's with us as well. The only grants that we've accepted are grants from organizations that do not try to control what it is that you do. So shout out to the Whites family. Shout out to the Logier organization as well. Like, we're looking to try to get some support from them, and they are one of those organizations that's like, hey, we like what you're doing. Do your thing. So that's another thing too. You got to navigate that. Like, who's going to try to control what you do and say when you get that help?
Yeah. So Omar Valentine.
Yeah. So we passed up a whole lot of money. All money ain't good money. We passed up a whole lot of offers for people who kind of wanted to get in and get down with what we were doing and change some things around and so on and so forth. So,
and just to bring it back bring it full circle, the whole point is that we shouldn't be even needing the organizations. Like, again, this $450 million ask can hopefully start to give the people what they need, so they don't need these organizations. They can have affordable homes. They can have small businesses and business training and the opportunities to fish for themselves. So we don't need all of these services and organizations and like, let's help these people get self-sustaining so they can move on and don't need this assistance anymore. That's the whole point.
Right. There you go with that. We got a new name in the chat. I see Leah Margolis says, morning. So grateful to have recently discovered you guys. Omaha is lucky to have your passion, knowledge, and voices. Thank you so much. Well, thank you.
Love abundant. I'm telling y'all, man.
The love it's the love. That's what it is. Really appreciate all that. Speaking of the love, man, I got to go ahead and play Josh's song. I don't know.
You've been teeing it up. I'm waiting. I'm waiting. Push the button.
All right, let me get to it over here. We got to hear it. I wish that I could have got the video of my man rocking this, but we'll listen to the track and you guys can go to Friends of First Sky Omaha to see him playing this live. So check it out.
Please do.
Broadcasting from North Omaha and in Atlanta, Georgia. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich laying in the cut. Get your week started out right on Monday. Wednesday's got Michelle soapboxing away. And if you believe in the concept of time, it always flies right on by on Friday, talking First Sky in the morning. It's the conversation that rules the nation. One love to this community. The three agreeos are what's happening. Thank you for all that you do. Like bringing that real talk and reading the news. Telling us what's the haps and spinning tasty grooves that make your head bob and get so shoulders too. Shout out to Weberite Studios for hosting our favorite morning show. And Omaha Tribe, if you know, then you know. And to all the chat chimers that make this whole thing go. First Sky in the morning. It's the conversation that rules the nation. One love to this community. The three agreeos are what's happening.
Hey. I'm glad glad you hadn't heard that till now. I wanted to see your reaction.
Yeah. I saw the video, but I couldn't hear it before the show. I couldn't, so I did check out the video. But it's nice to hear it. Josh, thank you, man.
Josh
Tague, thank you,
putting it down, man. That's some serious writing, man. He encompassed the whole show with everything, all our little sayings and stuff.
Man,
that's what's up. Brooke said, "Feel like my Hawaii days." That's what's up with the ukulele. I like that. Yeah, man, that's what's up. You get some applause there.
Getting some love, Josh.
Yeah, definitely go to the Friends of First Sky Omaha. He put the video on there. You got to check him out. That's love right there, man. Really appreciate you for that. That's so much love.
Yeah. I got to read the comment too. He says the tribute song no one asked for. You heard of rhythm and blues and probably drum and bass. Now get ready for nerdy and nervous. Josh, we love it, man. Appreciate it. It. Big thank you. Big
thanks, man. Big thanks. I really appreciate that. And yeah, it's just one of these things, man. I feel like, when you're in it, you don't always see what's going on. You don't always see how it's affecting people. But for some reason, like this last few days, we've gotten so much love from the community about this. So really appreciate it. And yeah, that's all we can say about it. It's just like, it's something that's resonating with folks. It's something that I feel like is needed. It's something that we've been dedicated to. So really appreciate the love. By the way, I got a couple people asking, where is Pops? He hit me last night. When Pops not feeling good, he'll hit me the night before, like, I ain't feeling good, I might not get up, but have good luck on the show. So I kind of know when he's not going to be on the show. So I think he's trying to get his rest right now. So we'll send him some love as well.
Man,
shout out to definitely. Pops.
Get well soon, yeah. Pops.
Yep. So, man, yeah, very cool. Thank you very, very much for all that. And yeah, we will definitely keep on posting this. That track is now in the canon, bro. You better go ahead and get your distro kit on so we can go ahead and get it on Spotify.
Get some spins. That's definitely going on season 3 playlist. That's definitely going on the playlist. Look out for that. Right. Also, man, I just thought about it. Your Pops ain't slick, man. I don't think it's not that he's feeling well. I think he party a little too much, No, I was just playing. They had the Pro Bowl in Vegas over the weekend. I know a lot of NFL players and high rollers were out there. I know Pops. He, superstar on the low.
Yeah. Well, Pops is he's a superstar on the table too, bro. So it's not just the NFL weekend out there. It's the poker weekend out there. So
yeah. Okay.
Yeah. So I think man. So anyway. Yeah, you're probably right. He probably partied a little too hard and sleeping in this morning. That's
whatever. Hey, get your rest. Get your rest anyway. Get your rest. We love you all the same. And with that, we love and appreciate all the chat chimers, man. We definitely thank you again. Yeah, get your distro kit ready on that track. Josh, we're going to get you some spins, man.
That's what's up. Let's take a quick break again, man, because we're kind of like high right now off the love, and don't want to necessarily jump into a serious story quite yet. But we do have special guests coming in from Flatwater Free Press. Man, Hanson will be in here a little later on in the show, and we'll talk to him about what's going on there. That's another one of our partners that we need to be paying attention to. Alternative press, man, is happening in Omaha hard right now. So, and we all have our part in it. So that's what's up. Yeah, stay tuned. Once again, we'll be right back. You're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. It's almost 8 o'clock, y'all. Already. Stay tuned. Yo. If you don't know, now you know. First Sky Omaha Radio. It's going down. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Space is the place. Season 3 right now. Yeah, you're witnessing right here on First Sky Omaha, and it's going down. It's hard to believe it's season 3 already. That means we've been on for a year. Coming up on the second year, 2022. Lots of stuff going to be happening in 2022. We started off right with right at the last part of the season, man. Had Senator Carol Blood on, our future governor, as far as we're concerned.
Speaking into existence.
That's right, man. Rich put Josh Tague video in the chat too. For those of you that need to check that video out, that's what's up. Appreciate you very much for that. So we're just kind of gearing up for a lot of big things happening here in 2022. We got a partnership with KIOS coming up, which they're venturing into some alternative news as well. Mm-hmm. So not just print but audio. We definitely have some plans to get busy there.
Carol Blood in the house. Hey, nice.
Said thanks for the love. Thank you for the love. Are you kidding me?
Right.
Yeah, people hit me up like, did you see Carol's post on Twitter? So we really appreciate the love and the shout out that you gave us there. We got to have you back soon. And don't think we forgot about them wings. We're going to be knocking on the door.
I was just going to say.
Where the wings at?
What the wings?
Really appreciate that. Brother Muhammad in the chat says, make a donation monthly. Put it on auto donate. Man, shout out to Brother Muhammad for that. He's a supporter of Friends of First Sky Omaha in the morning as well. So appreciate everybody that's done that. That's really helped us sustain what we're trying to do here. So thank you very much. And keep it so that we can say what we want to say. That's the main thing. Like I said, we left a lot of money on the table for people that wanted to control, had an agenda for us, but we are agenda free. We're our own agenda. And more importantly, what the chat chimers want to talk about is the agenda these days. So that's all of you. So really, really appreciate everybody who's on and doing that. And like I said, lots of changes happen in 2022, and hopefully we'll be a part of helping some of that stuff change. Miss Snipe says, I would suggest looking at the job description first. Oh, she's
having a whole conversation. I think
side conversations.
My mama guy trying to see what's up with that library job. I think
that's what's up. Yeah, that's what's up, man. Hook it up.
Yeah, it's all happening.
All happening right now. And it's all happening right now on the second hour of First Sky Omaha Radio. First Sky Omaha in the morning. It's 8:02. You believe in the concept of time. Thank you so much. We really appreciate that. Brother Muhammad says time dictates the agenda. First Sky Omaha. I like that.
If you believe in that kind of concept.
Believe in the concept. Time exists, but if you believe in the clock, then yeah. So on that kind of time and space level, we definitely believe that we're here now, and that makes a difference. So
man, that's the only thing that matters is the right now, what you do with it. So
there you go.
Again, we appreciate everybody for being here with us right here, right now. As Paul just said, in the second hour of First Sky Omaha in the morning. As we've been mentioning, we will be having a special guest come on a little later on. But there are still several other topics and things to get into, so let us know. And also, it is a Monday, so it won't be too extensive, but we will have some semblance of a haps a little later on. So if there's anything happening in your mind, in your world, definitely feel free to let us know.
There you go.
Yeah. But without further ado, let's go ahead and dive into some news, some other stories, keep it moving along. And big shout out to one of the chat chimers, Miss Kentari Him-Pedo, I believe, for bringing this to our attention, talking about the news coming out of Sioux Falls, South Dakota. Yeah, again, man, what's going on with our neighbors? That's really the question. That's what I want to know. What's going on with our neighbors? Iowa banning books. We'll get into this Missouri 666 bill, and now Sioux Falls has this opportunity for all program that they're pushing. Which I mean, on the surface level, it sounds cool. It sounds cool if you're not.
Hidden agenda in there. Hidden agenda.
A little bit. Again, if you're not familiar, South Dakota's 6 public universities were given until January 1st, the top of this year, to establish a plan that fits the State Board of Regents' Opportunity for All directive. As a result of the Opportunity for All directive, there is a such thing that's called the Opportunity Centers that will basically serve as an umbrella under which diversity offices or multicultural offices would exist throughout the university system. Diversity centers were actually a topic of an October 3rd panel back in 2019 when the Board of Regents and discussed in several exchanges between 2018 and 2019 with several legislators about diversity and multiculturalism in the university system and in education. Of course, they talk about the graduation rates of Black students, American Native students being 39%, well below what's acceptable. And their answer is these multicultural opportunity centers. Sounds good. Until you look into all 4 tenets of the center. And then it gets to sounding a little critical race theory-ish. The opportunity centers are under the Opportunity for All's 4 tenets, which include offering opportunity for all students. That's fine. Proudly supporting the United States of America. Okay. Safeguarding the rich tradition of American universities. Depending on who you ask, that can mean one thing or another. Offering curriculum based upon widely held and accepted knowledge and thought. That's where it gets a little
I don't know.
I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. I don't know. Let me know what y'all get from those 4 tenets. But it sounds like just continuing to push the patriotic agenda, the patriotic narrative. It sounds a lot like don't say anything that will go against or make anyone unhappy with America.
The South Dakota governor. Do I have this? Let me see. If
the tweet.
Yeah. This is what brought it all. You got the tweet there. This is what brought it in for me.
I can pull it.
Says here if you're confused about that announcement in their agenda, I got it in the wrong box. That's what's going on with me. She says South Dakota governor says good news. All 6 state universities are now following the Opportunity for All plan, but forwarded by the Board of Regents. Put forward by the Board of Regents. We eliminated diversity offices, which are focusing on leftist agendas. We replaced them with opportunity centers to help students succeed as individuals. So when you think about the 4 tenets that Buddy just read off and matched them up to what this governor said. It's the governor, right?
Yeah. Governor Chrissy Norm.
Yeah, when like you saying, you talking about critical race theory-ish. They got rid of diversity spots. I just like it's kind of like you're saying, like what's going on with our neighbors. All 6 universities are now following the Opportunity for All plan put forward by the Board of Regents. We eliminated diversity offices, which were focused on leftist agendas. To me, it says it all right there. This is partisan. We replaced them with opportunity centers to help students succeed as individuals. Ms. Erica Felt in the chat says South Dakota has a large native population. This is their way of ignoring that. Wow. Brianna Full says CRT started as a political diversion from the stuff that really matters, but now it caught on so much it's actually starting to cause real life issues. Most deaf. Miss Carol Blood put some respect on her name, says when people start using labeling to create boogeymen, it's bad policy. And Josh Tate says all part of the GOP playbook. Yeah. Doesn't sound, to me, it sounds like they're trying to kill any kind of diversity, training or knowledge or help or anything. They're obviously trying to push this patriotic agenda.
It's just like for again, this opportunity center is supposed to be the umbrella under which the diversity offices and multicultural offices still exist. So they're not necessarily doing away with them, but they're putting them under this controlling umbrella. And that controlling umbrella is to proudly support the United States of America, which sounds like you're not going to talk about points in American history that you might not be so proud of.
That part, yeah. And it's thinking about what a lot of the rest of the country is doing. You can't help but put this in that same boat.
You can't. You can't look at this in a vacuum. Like, you have to look at this in the banning of books.
And this is also on the university level. Like this governor is saying, this is the university level now. So now it's kind of attacking, if there is any critical race theory classes in any of these universities, then they'll be attacking that at the university level. So this is, you say what's going on with our neighbors around us. Well, we're part of this whole scene, bro. Like Nebraska is fighting against it being in elementary schools, which is never no threat. There was never any threat of that happening in the first place. It's been college courses, if at all, anywhere. Brother Preston Love, who's been teaching Black studies, has never taught critical race theory in any of the classes he's ever taught. It's not a thing, but they've made it a thing here. They made it a fight here. It was a fight, the situation in the Lincoln University of Omaha, Lincoln, same thing. They were trying to push an agenda to make things more fair, and they got pushed back from the governor and everybody on that.
Man.
So
try to come for one of the regent's job. Suggested he quit.
Right. So the regents in North Dakota and South Dakota here are in agreement to put these things in place, and all 6 universities now are doing this. I'm kind of speechless a little bit about this. It's kind of insane.
Just like Leah Margolis says, CRT's goal is mass that's trying to not make folks uncomfortable. Some history is uncomfortable. It just, and again, going back to these 4 tenets, it just doesn't sound like there's going to be much room for having conversations about things you might not be proud of, or any diversity in thought. Again, offering curriculum based upon widely held and accepted knowledge and thought.
Brother Muhammad says, how can you educate children if the children don't see themselves in such education?
That too.
Brooke Rodriguez says, Dr. Franklin Thompson would be a good person to talk to about this. Yeah, we agree. Leah Margolis says, what if they stop teaching about the Holocaust in Germany?
You know what I'm saying?
Do you know how much they teach about the Holocaust in Germany? It's everywhere. It's everywhere in Germany. They're like, you ain't going to forget. We're not going to forget what we did. We're not going to forget it because it's never going to happen again. And it's in public. It's in public art. It's in public squares. It's in museums. It's in schools. It's in curriculum. It's everywhere in Germany.
And that's the danger. That's the danger. When you have the banning of books, when you have, university systems that only proudly supporting the United States of America, and, only curriculum based on widely held and accepted knowledge. Nothing that goes against the status quo, nothing that challenges any train of thought, nothing that pushes things forward. What do you get? Missouri Bill 666.
Oh, man. Yeah. Lee Margolis says, if we don't learn about the uncomfortable history, will we repeat it? And
that's
666 is definitely some repetition.
Man, if you're not familiar, this is a real bill. Missouri Senate Bill 666 is being described by its Republican sponsor as an effort to loosen gun laws in the state. But a top prosecutor in Missouri has said the bill, if it is enacted, would shield killers from prosecution if they claim defense, giving the state its own unique spin on the controversial stand your ground laws that have sprinkled or throughout the country. A former congressional candidate took it a step further and suggested that the legal lynching of black men would ensure, if the Missouri General Assembly advances the bill. Lindsey Simmons, who was a candidate in 2020 elections for Congress in Missouri, injected race into the equation when she referred to Mark and Patricia McCloskey, a St. Louis couple who brandished guns at peaceful Black Lives Matter protesters as at least a partial reason for Missouri Senate Bill 666. If you don't remember, again, during a Black Lives Matter protest in St. Louis, there was the story and the image of the lawyer and his wife holding the assault rifle on their front lawn because they feared the protesters. They said they feared the protesters was trying to break into their house.
Right.
Yeah. Simmons wrote on Twitter, Senate Bill 666 makes Missouri a safe haven for the lynching of Black men. This bill is in direct response to the murder of Ahmaud Arbery, the reckless actions of the McCloskeys, plus the sham that was the Rittenhouse trial. There is no doubt. Now, also, Stoddard County prosecuting attorney Russ Oliver also blasted Missouri Senate Bill 666, saying he's calling it the Make Murder Legal Act. He said the bill will making the bill a law would absolutely create chaos in the state of Missouri, automatically have the presumption of law defense in every single assault, every single murder. And again, this law is basically strengthening one's claim to self-defense.
Wow.
It is easing the path to getting off of taking someone's life by claiming self-defense, which is the claim that we see a lot of times in police brutality situations. And now it's extending that to the average day Joe.
Crazy. Scary. Like I said, we take a lot of look at what's going on right here in our city, but all around us. And we say this about the state in general, like all around us, there's militia groups, there's people that are really getting geared up for this, and it's not just our area, man. It's all around us as well. It's all around us. Ugly Kid says, anyone else noticing the irony of this bill's number, Bill 666? Are we sure this isn't a parody? This can't be real.
I'm telling you, it's a real bill, man. I had to do the research. This is a real bill.
Oh man. Yeah, we'll look forward to your comments on that. Real quick, I want the chat is going off about this last thing that we talked about. The South Dakota bill. This is like, it's kind of overwhelming, really, like what's going on here with these bills. It makes me feel very much like, why respect the law when they just use the law and move the goalposts, and they want to get something done, just use the law. Then it's legal. Then you can do whatever. The Holocaust was legal.
Yeah. So was slavery.
Slavery was legal. So it's hard to have respect for that institution when they're using it like this. Marianne Williams in the chat says, this bill, speaking of that South Dakota thing, she said this bill is being heard in the Nebraska Legislature Education Committee that will have some of the same effects as the South Dakota bill. K-12 LB 1170 intends to promote character development for children in the state educational system by providing patriotic organizations as listed in Federal Code Title 36, Subtitle 2, Part B, access to public schools. So, yeah, not just our neighbors right here. Brianna Full says, thankfully, the anti-CRT measure at the University of Nebraska was shot down last summer, but Jim Pillen is what we call him. Ellen Pillen is the regent who introduced it, and now he's running for governor. We all know Carol Blood's going to be the next governor, so yeah. Don't matter. Marianne Williams put in the chat the link to that bill. Definitely something that we got to call our folks about and be like, yeah, take a look at that bill, oppose it. We don't want that.
Put that pressure.
Put the pressure on them. Miss Knipe says it's kind of like certain organizations whose name I can't say yet, saying, sure, we can do diversity training, we just can't talk about white privilege. That's right. Interesting. Wanda Lewis said, remember Whoopi Goldberg was recently suspended for speaking on the Holocaust.
Yeah. And Whoopi Goldberg, who is a Jew.
And trying to cancel her, took her off the show, trying to get her canceled over that. Ceci Jean. Oh, they're talking. Sean McCarthy says eliminating diversity offices because they were promoting leftist ideologies. Can you imagine how much these Republican lawmakers would freak out if certain education offices were eliminated for promoting conservative ideologies?
I mean, just listen to the statement in itself. It's self-evident. Eliminating diversity offices because they were promoting diverse ideologies. Let's just call it what it is. Like,
yeah. Got to take care of the white kids. We need to make sure that they don't feel uncomfortable. Melvin Brother Muhammad says at the root of every civilization is knowledge, inherent in which is an ideal that gives energy and direction to that knowledge. But if the idea at the root of knowledge and civilization is finite, then the world that comes as a result of that knowledge is also finite. It has to end.
Yeah, man.
That. Yeah, man, we keep going. I'll Kids says life is stranger than fiction, indeed, for sure. Sean McCarthy says Citizens United pretty much legalized political bribery.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Ms. Erica Fell says it's already gross that the military has access to our public schools to recruit our children. Can you imagine what organizations they'll allow? Rough. Christy Norris reminding us that Alicia Shelton is running for Congress.
There you go.
Yeah, Goldberg is her stage name. I was familiar with her daughter when they lived in Berkeley. Interesting. Yeah, Miss Erica Fell, we got to talk about that. Yeah.
Who is she talking about?
I think she's talking about Whoopi Goldberg.
Huh? Oh, yeah. Yes, Goldberg is her stage name. Yes, that is not her real name. You didn't know that?
Did not know that.
Yeah.
I'm a fan of Whoopi too.
Yeah, Goldberg is not her real name.
Okay. Wow. So she's not Jewish. Okay. Very interesting stuff. Yeah. So anyway, as you can see, we got lots to talk about as far as these bills are concerned. Okay. Very interesting. Did not know that. And I'm a fan of Whoopi too, so I'm surprised I didn't know it. Interesting. So anyway, yeah, keeping an eye on this, and I really want to thank who brought up the bill. Let me see if we got that link in the chat again. Marianne Williams, who brought up this bill that we need to be talking about here. You know, like we're getting some glimpses of what's going on around us, but in our city, in our state as well, some of this stuff is going down. So we definitely need to check that out. Look in the chat again. Nebraska legislature bills. I'm
looking at it now. LB 1170 requires schools to allow certain youth organizations to provide information, services, and activities. Yeah, so I'm not sure what those organizations are, what they entail, but yeah. Or how can we, get maybe suggest organizations, or how's that process going?
Well, that'll be the next thing that we gotta check it out. Kimber Snipes is reminding us Tony Vargas is also running, so we got some people running for Congress here as well. And and friends of First Sky Omaha too that are running for Congress. So we'll be this time around. We'll definitely be talking about everybody that's running. Carol Burris says, and it's limited to the list in the bill.
So giving us a little more insight. So they already there you go. They already have a list of organizations that they want to use. Like nobody in the community can suggest any organizations, or might need to look into that more.
Lots of groups excluded in LB 1170.
There you go. So our thoughts confirmed.
From Senator Carol Blood is that is sitting there listening to this. Ms. Sergafel says, I'm a fan, and I was when me and her daughter were beefing. Oh, okay. You're talking about Whoopi Goldberg? She said, but she's human. Look at when she dated dude from Cheers and he wore blackface with her. You bringing up some old stuff.
Man, taking it back.
But anyway, there's more to talk about there, and I'm kind of looking at that story with Whoopi Goldberg too. We might make a comment on it. But speaking of which, we're gonna go to a break here. We got a special guest in the house that we're gonna get to. Before we get to there, I just want to let you know about Wednesday. There's some other things that have been going on that we have not spoken up about yet. The Miss Universe suicide, also Regina King's son, who committed suicide. And we have a special show coming Wednesday about mental health that Michelle Trostler is going to be hosting and speaking a lot about. She also wants to talk about her story and her going to Ghana and the reason why she came back, and because it's all kind of tied up with the mental health angle. Mm-hmm. So if you got questions for her, get those ready for Wednesday for sure, because she's graciously allowed us to say, yeah, come on and talk about it if that's what you want to do, and that's what she wants to do. So we'll have a pretty deep show about that where we can kind of talk about a few things. And like I said, we don't want to sensationalize anybody's death, so we haven't really been talking about it, but it is worth speaking out. A lot of us really love Regina King and seeing her going through some really, really hard stuff right now with her son's death. Yeah. And a few other things that's going on with Black people and mental health. So stay tuned for that. That's Wednesday's show. We'll be talking a lot about that. It'll be a heavy one, so get ready. But definitely come on in and get ready to get deep. So with that said, we're going to go to a break real quick. It's 8:25 right now, if you believe in the concept of time. When we come back, we'll have special guest Matt Hanson that's coming in from Flatwater Free Press. So get your questions ready for him. And he is in the house, and we'll get busy with it. So stay tuned. And once again, you're listening to First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, all of you, the chat chimers, Augie Kid in the house squad. It's going down. Stay tuned. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul Beeee, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. If you believe in the concept of time, is 8:26 right now. If you're keeping track, got somewhere to go and all that good stuff. And we got about a half an hour left in the show. And we're going to go ahead and jump into our special guest, our next guest. We're going to be doing this every week, hopefully, with this new partnership of ours between Flatwater Free Press and First Sky Omaha. We got Matt Hanson in the building. How's it going this morning, brother?
Hey, guys.
How you doing?
Hey, top of the morning.
Yeah, that's what's up. And like I said, Flatwater Free Press in the house. As a matter of fact, you guys are in the building even. Like, we're over here at the Mastercraft building.
Yeah,
quite literally.
Ever.
Quite literally.
It's like 27 steps to get here.
Very nice. I love the fact that we're taking over this side of the building over here. That's great. Well, thanks for coming in, man. We were going to have Matt Wynn as well. He's feeling under the weather there, so appreciate you coming in. And hopefully, I'm glad you came in because I'm hoping to meet the whole crew, have the whole crew come in each week and talk about what you guys are working on. And so, yeah, really appreciate that. Ladies and gentlemen, again, this is Matt Hanson from Flatwater Free Press. We've been talking about Flatwater Free Press and talking about stories that they've written. New alternative news group that's come in strong and we've partnered right away, and it's been great. So thank you very, very much. Appreciate that. And
thank you.
We got Kimmer Snipes says, good morning, Senator Hanson. That's what's up.
Well, there's another Matthew Hanson who is a state senator. I am not him. I have more hair than he does. But he's a nice guy.
He's like, he may be a senator, but
you might be surprised to learn there were a lot of kids named Matthew around 1980 in Nebraska.
I know a lot of Matts from 1980 for sure. Okay, so I'm glad we cleared that up.
Yeah, right glad for the clarification. Thank you.
Yeah, because I thought she was springing some new information on me.
Right.
I didn't know Hanson was the senator. Wait a minute. That's what's up. So anyway, thanks for coming on, man. How's things going over there at the new spot?
It's going great. It's beyond our wildest expectations. We've been doing it for, I started about 7 months ago now. We've been publishing for 5. And in that time, we've really made a dent in this thing in a way that, honestly, we're surprised it's happened as fast as it has.
Nice. We are already jumping into the chat with some questions. Miss Erica Fell says, "Are you the Matt who did the write up about bilingual trainings for children?"
I noticed that I knew a couple people in your chat. Erica Fell, yes. I was in my previous gig. I was writing about early childhood education, so I met Erica a few times.
Oh,
and I know Sean McCarthy because we went to school together. School newspaper, Daily Nebraska.
Nice.
Okay, way back.
That's what's up, man. There you go. Friends of First Sky Omaha. What if you're friends of them? You're friends of ours already.
Yeah,
so
friend of a friend. I'm sure. I'm surprised nobody told you about us yet. No, I'm just joking. I'm just joking.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Well, yeah, I just wanted to kind of get into the nitty gritty of it. I know you're talking about your former gig, again, writing on childcare, but kind of curious as to what you're doing now. What's your current position with Flatwater Free Press? And for those who might not be too familiar, what's some of the work that you're doing?
Flatwater Free Press is Nebraska's first statewide journalism nonprofit, which is a mouthful that I'm learning to say correctly. But as you guys alluded to earlier, it's part of this sea change that is happening in journalism. It's been happening around the country, and now it's happening in Nebraska. It's really exciting. It's this different way to fund important journalism. And that's what we're doing. I mean, ours is built to be, Flatwater Free Press is built to be kind of two-pronged. One half is investigative. So our full-time reporters who started November 1st, they are still very, very new. They are diving deep into issues like right now, one of them is, well, actually both of them are very focused on Nebraska's prison system, which is messed up, as you may have heard, overcrowded, understaffed, a lot of problems. So they're doing kind of in-depth investigative stuff. And then on the other hand, we have freelancers doing feature stories, kind of stories that bind the state together is our idea. We've had some of those from North Omaha. We've had some of those from Norfolk. We've had some of those from the Sandhills. So that's the basic premise of Flatwater Free Press. The other kind of different thing about this that surprises people is we take all our stuff, all our stories, all our photos, and we give it away for free to every existing Nebraska media outlet that wants it. And the uptake from that has been incredible. Most of our stuff is running all over the state, which is the point, right? The point is to get good information, important stories to as many people as possible. So that's what we're trying to do. And I'm the editor of the Flatwater Free Press, so I run the journalism. Matt Wynn, previously mentioned Matt Wynn, is the executive director. And right now we have 2 full-time reporters, and we're hoping to expand soon.
Very nice.
Yes. Yeah.
We really appreciate the investigative side of what you guys do, and also the wing of. We feel like you're the wing of the alternative news group here that gets out to the places that we don't, and we really appreciate that part as well. So, what's some of the favorite articles that you guys have been digging into and uncovering and stuff right now for you personally?
We've done a fair bit of stuff on COVID, as you might imagine. That's a pretty important topic right now. Like I just mentioned, corrections. I mean, that's a thing that we've partnered up with the World Herald. Actually, we're going to start doing a occasional series on problems with the corrections system. Nice. So like I said, we're working on stories about that right now. We had a story that I thought was really great because it kind of broke down why this matters, why. You've heard for years, for decades in Nebraska that Nebraska's prisons are overcrowded, right? And I always kind of wondered, subconsciously, I was thinking, well, what does that mean? Why should we care? Why do we care? Mm-hmm. And we had a story that really broke down why it matters, why understaffed, overcrowded prisons matters. One of the reasons it matters is because on Thursday nights in the most overcrowded prisons, through no fault of the inmates, because the prison is overcrowded and understaffed, most prisoners are essentially locked in a cell from Thursday night until Monday morning. Again, not because they've done anything wrong, but because there aren't enough guards to, sort of staff the full functions of the prison on weekends. So that's a consequence of overcrowding. As you might imagine, that makes prisons even unhappier places than they already are. It increases the threat of violence inside prisons, that sort of stuff. So we also had a story, and I know you'll have our reporters on to talk about these stories. We had a story from Alvo, Nebraska. I don't know if you guys have heard about this, but it's a story about this really small town just outside Lincoln, between Lincoln and Omaha, where they got into a small town fight that started kind of weird and typical small town. It was about a big pile of tires, actually, on the outskirts of town. But it turned into a fight about democracy. Essentially, at one point the village board, there were a couple, there were petitions to recall a couple of village board members. The village board met, what they were supposed to do under the law is say, all right, we're going to have an election. And what they said instead was, we're not going to have an election, which is a little chilling if you believe in some of the basic democracy. There are lawsuits and the fight continues there. But that's an example of a small town story that we're going to try to pay attention to because it's important well beyond that small town.
That's interesting. My eyes have been open a little bit from some of the small town news that we're getting from you guys. Like I said, we focus on Omaha and certain neighborhoods here, so it's really interesting to hear about some of these parallels that happen with things that are happening in small towns and happening in Omaha. That was purposeful for you guys as Flatwater Free Press to make sure that you were kind of out in all of Nebraska and figuring out how that correlates to other areas.
Yeah, I mean, in nonprofit journalism, there's this concept, this phrase, news desert. I mean, you've heard food desert, right? Well, news deserts are this idea that newspapers, radio, as radio stations kind of turn into conglomerates where there's no host in the town. In a lot of cases, as newspapers close. Small town newspapers close, even in a lot of cases, kind of mid-sized cities don't have newspapers. That really starts to erode just the basic citizen understanding of what's happening in their community, right? Who's covering city council? Who's covering, if somebody is polluting the stream outside of town or the water source. So yeah, part of our mission is to try to get to those places in Nebraska as much as possible. I mean, and obviously there are reasons to focus in Omaha too. I mean, it's cool because, and I love, like, one of our mantras is collaborate, not compete, right? Which is kind of different than the old for-profit journalism model that I was raised in. You guys are focusing on Omaha. Noise, focusing on North Omaha. Obviously, the existing for-profit media doing their thing in Omaha. So we're going to pick and choose our spots in Omaha because there is a lot of other people doing good stuff. There's less of it in Nebraska's kind of smallest towns and smaller cities. So we're going to play there as well.
And I can imagine that there are some things maybe happening in some of those smaller towns because some actors might be aware that, hey, might not be as much attention being paid to what we're doing. But I did want to kind of speak more so on what Paul just mentioned as far as the parallels, because that is something I'm interested in. As far as what parallels you've seen, or what are kind of some of the most glaring issues that exist in both the most populated areas of the state and the most remote areas of the state.
Yeah, I mean, there are quite a few, and sometimes it gets strange to talk about because we're programmed to believe that these places are as different as could be. Like if we're talking about the most impoverished, socially economically disadvantaged areas of Omaha and some of Nebraska's smallest towns, right? You don't think of those. You don't think of North Omaha or South Omaha having much in common with a 600 person village,
right?
And the people who live in those places don't maybe see a lot of commonalities. But yeah, I mean, as you see, for example, journalism go away in some of those places, the chances of corruption goes up. I mean, there's been study after study that have shown that, to your previous point. If nobody's watching, the the hen house, the wolves definitely realize it after a certain point, and start stealing money. And by the way, that's happened in many Nebraska small towns where you have the city clerk, for example, realize that nobody is watching he or she, and embezzle hundreds of thousands of dollars in multiple cases.
Pocketing money.
Right. So that's one of the examples. The parallel, I mean, everybody's angry, right? There's a lot of anger and division. There's a lot, and that's a thing that you can find in a lot of places in Nebraska, biggest cities, smallest communities. Might be angry about different things, and they might believe there are different answers, or sort of have different grievances. But man, the commonality is people are pissed. That's for sure. There's a bunch more. I just think, I think that there's a legitimate grievance that both small communities and places like North Omaha have, and it's this idea of being ignored, in some way, not as important. Obviously, in North Omaha, you have layered on top of that generations of racism, bigotry. I don't want to say that it's an apples to apples comparison, but there's a thread of some commonality there, I think, is as well. So that's a couple of examples. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're one of the ideas of Flatwater Free Press is to say, essentially, to state that we are a state, and then to ask if we are a state, right? Like what that means. What sort of what things bind us at this point, and that's an open question. I think a lot of our institutions maybe historically did that or tried to do that, and they've pulled back from that idea. So the question becomes, not so much what divides us, because there are many things that divide us, but what actually unite us between those places, and we're going to ask that question.
That's great. One of the things that we believe here, one of our heroes is Fred Hampton from the Black Panther Party. He was the one who started the Rainbow Coalition. One of the reasons why he got assassinated was because he was trying to unite poor whites with poor Latino people with poor black folks.
Right.
We definitely around here believe that it's the economic sociality of individuals that bind people. There's the class issue that also is something that that we can find parallels with different parts of the state. So yeah, really glad that Flatwater Free Press is going after, under those premises, really looking at things. One of the things that I wanted to ask you about too for Flatwater was, we were talking earlier about how this new found solutions journalism that is kind of floating around everywhere. Right now, we know the reader is heavily involved with it because they introduced it to us. Is that something that you guys are into as well?
Yes. I mean, and it's such a breath of fresh air. Again, I mean, I've been in newspapers since I was in college. I'm 41 now. I've been doing this a while. And for a lot of that time, kind of the classic idea is, you drop into a place or a story, you write about the problem, the deep issue, whatever, and then you leave. And there's no even thought given to what comes next. You might cover stuff that happens afterwards if stuff does happen, but I love the mind shift that's inherent in solutions journalism, where we say as journalists, it's not just the problem. We are going to try to focus and help places get to potential solutions. We're at least going to offer the range of solutions that may exist in stories, right? So when we focus on corrections, for example, we're eventually going to have stories that focus on what can be done to make it better inside that system. Now, will policymakers listen to us? I don't know. I probably have a pretty low batting average on policymakers. Even Senator Matt Hanson listening to me. But the we are going to try to offer solutions as well as expose problems. It's an important last step in the process, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. I'm going to jump into the chat real quick. A couple comments and questions. First of all, Miss Snipes, it's a good thing that you're not Senator Matt Hanson, because she said I was getting ready to go in for him not responding to my email. So you about to get a whooping in a minute. Miss Erica Fell says, I look forward to seeing writing without an agenda. That's a good comment there. Jumping down, Marq Manner says that Alvo story is a must read. I agree. That was very interesting story to check out. Also, Richard Lewis said that's also spread to TV news as well. KPTM has a few local reporters, but it's actually broadcast out of California.
Man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
It really is. Miss Erica Bell says, I believe I saw Omaha World Herald sharing about Flatwater Press.
Flatwater Free Press. It happens. Free water. It's a thing that happens.
Flatwater Free Press. It may be KMTV, one of those news outlets. I'm making more coffee. So
there you go.
I mean, give me some too when you get there. Also, Wanda Lewis says watchdogs needed. This is kind of our thing, man. I'm not a journalist, so I never went to school for journalism or anything. So I'm heavy on citizen journalism. I'm heavy on watchdog. I'm heavy on the common citizen being able to take, watch what's going on around here, because it's really opened my eyes that if nobody's watching, if the fourth estate is not running like it's supposed to run, then people are just doing all kinds of underground shady stuff, and they can. And it's really like the news is here to embarrass them into acting right half the time. And you really kind of got to know what's going on. So I feel like we have a nice big group of news, of people that are really trying to push, journalists, but also citizen journalism. Several different kinds of medium, video, live stream, print, even with the new documenters program that's coming to the area for people to sit there and who's sitting at these meetings taking notes. So really love that and appreciate that. And you got a couple of reporters that you brought in. They actually moved in from out of town, right?
Yeah. We did a national search. It was super gratifying. We didn't have anything to show potential employees, right? Just a promise. But yeah, Yinchi Shu and Natalia Alamdari came here from, Natalia is New Hampshire by way of Houston, and Yinchi is North Carolina by way of Southern China. So they're well-traveled, and it's very cool to bring talented young, in this case, women of color here to do good, deep reporting. I mean, it's exactly to happen. And like I said, we're hoping to expand because once we get into this, the problem isn't the lack of stories, right? The problem is there are too many stories. So we need to we need to be able to meet that challenge as much as we can. I wanted to make a point about some in the chat, the idea of agenda, which I always think is a really interesting one, because that's a loaded term. But I mean, I would say we do have a couple of agendas in kind of the best sense of that word. One of them is to again tied to the prisons thing or tied to Alvo. We're not just going to interview the mayor. We're not just going to interview the warden or the governor. We are going to interview the inmates. We're going to talk to their families. We're going to talk to the regular residents of Alva who are pissed off. That too much of journalism becomes officialdom. And obviously elected officials are important. It's important to talk to them. It's important to pay attention to what they're doing. Regular people matter a lot in these stories. In a lot of cases, they're the reason that these stories are happening. Alvo doesn't happen if a bunch of, just residents of the village band together and say, we're not going to take this anymore. We paid attention to them. So that's an agenda, right? It's an agenda to say, You know, even if you are, you know, quote unquote, without power in a place, you're going to have a voice through the Flatwater Free Press.
Man.
Very nice.
Voice for the voiceless.
Nice place to end that on, man. Really appreciate you coming through and giving us a little preview of what's to come. I hope that we can, like I said, meet everybody on your squad weekly, coming in, talking about some things. We definitely been enjoying this new partnership, checking out what you guys are doing and talking about a lot of it here. So yeah, we appreciate you over there from Flatwater. No, free. I'm going to call it Free Water Flat Press from now on.
But before we let you go, I did have one last question.
Sure.
I just want to ask if anyone was interested in getting involved and becoming a contributor of now you got me a Flatwater Free Press. If anyone is interested in becoming a contributor or has any story ideas, how can they get in contact?
Flatwaterfreepress.org is our website. We're on Facebook and Twitter. You know, there's a weekly newsletter has been a thing that's been very, very cool for us. So if you go to the website, again, flatwaterfreepress.org, you can sign up for our weekly newsletter. It's free. It takes like 15 seconds to sign up. It'll pop into your inbox every Friday afternoon at 1 p.m. or whenever I hit send on it. Sometimes it's 1:17. I don't necessarily believe in the concept of time either all the time. But yeah, those are some of the ways. And then you'll see us, and you already are seeing us in your favored kind of Nebraska media outlet as well. So we're kind of everywhere. But yeah, the home base is the website, flatwaterfreepress.org, and sign up for that newsletter.
There you go.
Right on. Hey, before we let you go, there's one issue here I'm seeing in the chat. Miss Erica Felt says there was definitely an agenda for the business you interviewed for me for. It caused harm to the family of the child that was highlighted. It was done to raise funds for the trainings at his expense.
Yeah, I would have to talk to Erica about that more. I don't really understand. I saw that, and I'm sorry that she feels that way about that. Again, it was for a previous employer, and you know, I was just trying to tell the stories of early childhood education in Omaha. But I'm definitely made a mental note to talk to Erica about that offline.
Good. That's all we wanted. She says, look forward to you writing without an agenda. So I'm glad you explained this whole thing about agenda as well, because I found that to be interesting too. They try to act like journalism is supposed to be free of any kind of opinions or agenda, but that's really hard to do when you're people writing. You're always going to come from some kind of angle, and that's just the nature of it. People need to get used to that instead of trying to act like this is all just generic news. It's not. It's always got an angle. So anyway, yeah, appreciate it. And if you get a hold of her, you guys can have a conversation. We can keep the family tight around here. So appreciate all that. And everybody's putting the stuff in the chat here. Flatwaterfreepress.org. Yep. A story that you did about Bud Crawford. That was a really great one too. I forgot to. I was going to say that. That was a really great story. So appreciate it, and we appreciate you. And we'll see you soon.
Thanks, guys.
Right on, man. Have a good one. All right, there you go. Matt Hanson, Flatwater Free Press. Really appreciate everybody that chimed into the chat and all that, man. Speak some truth and ask some questions and get to know the partners. That's what it's about. Let's take a quick break while we let Matt get on his way, and we'll be right back. First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
That we do not intend to play the role that the Jews played.
get my mic on in a minute. Space is the place. Season 3, First Sky Omaha Radio, First Sky Omaha in the morning. Paul B, Buddi3 Da Gawd, Star Trek Rich, and all of you, the chat chimers. Thanks for chiming into the chat. Just want to let you know real quick, our little Starfleet daily meditation is up.
Man,
our function is to contribute in a positive way to the world in which we live. And that's the Android Data that said that one. So that's what's happening. So your tricky words of wisdom for today. Our function is to contribute in a positive way to the world in which we live. And I'm sure that we all agree on that one here. So thank you very much. Really appreciate that. And appreciate our guest, Matt Hanson, coming in from Flatwater Free Press. That's what's going on. And really look forward to hearing some of the stories that they're working on. That we'll bring them in weekly around this time so we can talk about that as well. And again, don't forget as well, we have our partners over at The Reader that's going to come in on Fridays to talk about the things that are happening too. So that's what's up. Yep. Space is the place. That's right, Augie Kid. Appreciate you. Right on, right on. In the meantime, buddy, what you over there thinking about?
Well, actually, I'm looking at our haps. We've got just about 5 minutes left in the show, so definitely want to spend some time getting into that. And other than that, that's really all I have. We pretty much jumped into all the articles that we had teed up.
Is that right? Well, let's make it happen.
What's the haps?
Make it happen.
Josh Tague even talked about the shoulders moving in the song, man. I was like, boy, they're gonna be watching it. That's what's up. That's what's up. That is time for the it is time for that. It's like 8:55. We got 5 more minutes.
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. So. Let's go ahead. It's definitely been a Monday show indeed, but let's go ahead and knock this thing going out. Make it happen. Again, this is the Haps where we let you know what's happening in the community, all the things that we would like you to mobilize on, and all the cool things we would like to inform you about. And coming up, of course, we kicked off today's show talking about the $450 million that the dynamic duo is asking for. Justin Wayne and Terrell McKinney, put some respect on their names. And of course, that's coming from the American Rescue Plan Act funds that the state received from the federal government. And there will be some seminars and meetings to help kind of organize and educate us on these ARPA funds and to come together to talk about how possibly to spend it. There will be 3 training webinars scheduled to support an application process. So if you are applying for some of those funds, they'll cover everything you need to know and provide time for your questions. There is a registration required, but the event is this Thursday, February 10th from 2 to 3:30 p.m. There will also be 2 other ones later on in the month. This is through the Omaha Community Foundation. You can go to omahafoundation.org/ARPA for more information. Again, that's omahafoundation.org/ARPA for more information. But again, there are lots of funds out there, and the time is now to ask for some of those funds, especially if you have any business or organization ideas.
That's right. And we've been talking about some ideas for a while, so it's time to bring those up.
Yeah, and go ahead and get the information you need to apply and get that on through. So definitely look into that. Also, there is this is kind of funny, man. It's a call to action, but of course, it was reported that Governor Ricketts declined the money, the $120 million for rental assistance. Well, big shout out to the Nebraska Legislative Study Group. They will be hosting an event. Tell Ricketts to accept and disperse allotted federal funds for rental and mortgage assistance. Again, Ricketts trying to, he thinks this is going to save taxpayers money, but if he doesn't accept it, it's just going to go to California. So yeah, let's try to apply some pressure.
He's not doing nothing for nobody, but holding it back from people that need it. So
Exactly. So if you're interested in joining that, the Nebraska Legislative Study Group is asking and hosting an event at the Capitol, and actually has a list of emails for you to apply some pressure as well. The real Matt Hanson is on that list. Also Justin Wayne, Senator Carol Blood, and a few others. So again, if you would like to apply pressure for that, go ahead and check that out. Those haps are on the Friends of First Sky page. So if you need more information, you can go to Friends of First Sky Omaha on Facebook in the events tab for that.
There you go. That's what's up. It's 1 minute to 9. We're gonna try to get out of here on time, buddy. You got some words for the people?
Man, as always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. All the chat chimers, all the ones that showing love. Man, we appreciate you. Especially big shout out to my man Josh Tague for that song. If you haven't checked that out, please do yourself a favor and go ahead and check that out. It is on the Friends of First Sky Omaha page. I believe my man Star Trek Rich dropped a link in the chat as well. But other than that, man, as always, catch the same time, same place, Monday, Wednesday, and Friday live from Buddi3 Studios in my living room right here in the A. As always, we appreciate you. We love you. We thank you. Zane says, good show, man. Thank you. Shout out to the dude.
What's up, dude?
Yeah, man.
Appreciate you, man. Thanks for getting up and watching us this morning.
Oh, yeah. Take it away.
Right on. Just want to give thanks to the Omaha tribe elders for allowing us to be on this land and speak while we're here. Thanks to our elders for allowing us to speak before them. And thanks to all of you, the chat chimers, who make this thing possible, man. I really appreciate you. Also, Star Trek Rich and the Weberized crew for allowing us to get down right here in this beautiful Weberized studios. If you have podcast ideas, definitely check out the Weberized.com website and get that idea out there, man. You might as well. That's what we're doing these days. Shout out to Buddy and his family for trying to be quiet in the back and so letting Daddy do what he does in the front in the living room in Atlanta. Appreciate you right there, man. Keep them hot draws out the dryer. You don't want no tragedies. Oh, fire. We appreciate you. Get ready for a very heavy show coming on Wednesday about mental health in the Black community. Michelle Trosker will be there, and she will be hosting that, and she will also be doing her soapbox moment at the same time. So thank you very much from that. Again, Brother Muhammad is asking, can we extend the time? Can't do it, brother, but we got some new stuff coming, so we appreciate you wanting us to do that. Miss Erica Fell says, another informative show that challenges personal thinking for the better. Thank you. Keep your space. It helps with keeping your peace. Drink water and be good to yourselves. Appreciate that. Tamika Johnson gives us some heart, some peace, and some sun. Appreciate that. Little mama in the house, man. She's gonna have to make a cameo now at the end every time because she knows what's up. She knows what's going down. What's up, little mama? Hey. She was like, "Give me this mic. I got something to say."
That's
right. Aggie Kid says, "Stay warm, stay safe, check on loved ones, and stay hydrated." Heard that. Brooke says, Zane says he likes Buddi the guy.
The dude, man. Shout out.
Brother Muhammad says, walk 1 mile per day, family. I hear that, bro. I got to keep moving. I could easily sit here for 16 hours a day looking at a screen working. So I definitely want to try to get out and get your step on. It's supposed to be warm out. So do that. We'll see you Wednesday. There you go. We'll see you Wednesday. Peace. Have a good one, y'all. Sweet.
By the way, Vanglorious. This is protected by the red